In today's video, we'll see some of the most shocking looking and bizarre creatures from the deep sea. I've also noticed that most of you watching this aren't subscribed yet, so if you do like the video, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It's absolutely free and you can always change your mind later. And with that said, enjoy the video. Number 5. The Giant Phantom Jellyfish. Ancient tales of mariners tell us about giant creatures attacking ships and pulling sailors to their doom. While most point to the giant squid and the colossal squid as their origins of these tales, there's one giant creature from the deep that could also be a candidate for a legendary sea monster. That is the giant phantom jellyfish, known in the scientific community as Stygiomedusa, which is a 10-meter-long stingless jellyfish that is so rare there's actually only been about 110 recorded sightings since its discovery in 1899. The gelatinous composition of its body helps it survive the water pressure in these depths, which can be as high as 5,800 pounds per square inch. And like with most jellyfishes, its long drape-like arms are thought to be used to cling on to struggling prey. Number 4. Shape-shifting whalefish. So little is actually known about the lives of whalefish, and that's even after a century after the discovery in 1895. Their larval form, the males and the females, look so different from one another that scientists actually thought that they were 3 different species. First, there are the tape tails, scaleless larval forms with a long streamer-like tail and mouth that seem to have a comical overbite. They live and feed near the ocean's surface. When the time comes for these fish to assume their adult forms, 2 vastly different body shapes await them. If they're male, the tape tails become big noses. Scales sprout across their body, their mouths shrink to minuscule proportions as their jawbones waste away and their noses balloon outward. As they'll never feed again, their intestines, esophagus, and stomach all shrivel and disappear. Their chest cavity is instead filled by their sexual organs and a gigantic liver as an energy store. Basically, there you turn into nothing but breeding machines. Females, on the other hand, undergo a no less dramatic transformation. Their bodies expand to resemble a miniature baleen whale, growing to sizes far greater than their male counterparts, and they develop water pressure detecting lateral lines along their flanks to guide them through the pitch-black depths. Number 3. Vampire squid. Although not bloodsuckers, they sure do look the part. When it was first discovered in 1898 to 1899, the scientists mistakenly identified it as an octopus. However, when further studies were conducted, the scientists were shocked to witness this living fossil. A vampire squid can grow up to 30 centimeters in length, and its body varies in colors from jet black to having a pale reddish tint. This, of course, depends on lights and conditions. This cephalopod resides at a depth of 600 and 900 meters, where the habitat is described as the oxygen minimum zone. They have a very slow metabolism, and their body and blood were configured to maximize the delivery of oxygen. Aside from their appearance and rarity, they also have a unique form of reproduction. During mating, the male passes a sperm sac to the female, where she stores him until it's ready to be fertilized. It's believed that the female vampire squid broods for 400 days before the eggs hatch and become new vampire squids. Number 2. The deep sea anglerfish. The anglerfish is one of the most horrifying creatures that you can encounter in the deep ocean. The species usually lives at depths of 100 to 3,000 meters, but are rare enough so that encounters with them are quite uncommon. Anglerfish actually exhibit extreme sexual dimorphism, with females larger than males. In fact, the average size of a female anglerfish is about 18 centimeters, while the male's average length is only about 3 centimeters. Sunlight or any form of natural light does not reach the depths in which this type of anglerfish resides, and because of that, they developed a luring mechanism where the luring apparatus emits a biofluorescent light that attracts the anglerfish's prey. Once the prey is close enough, the angler quickly lunges at it, finishing the job with its massive teeth. The lure of the female is also used to attract the male anglerfish. The male will then attach itself to the female using its tiny jaws and then commences to fertilize her eggs. After fertilization, the male's sole purpose in life is done, and he then becomes permanently attached to the female's body. If that doesn't sound terrifying enough, the body just kind of withers away while being absorbed by the female. Number 1. Deep sea hagfish. When you say you're afraid of the creatures dwelling at the bottom of the sea, nothing discovered can be more terrifying than the deep sea hagfish. They have a strange and slimy appearance with rows of sharp tooth-like structures protruding out of their mouths. They're the ancient of the ancients, as it was found that there was almost no change in their appearance since they were formed millions of years ago. They have a skull but no spine, but instead what they have is a skeleton made out of cartilage. This is similar to their cousins, the sharks and the rays. Their bodies are also equipped with dozens of glands that secrete slimy matter made out of sugar and protein. This slime keeps them from being targeted by predators. Mind you, that doesn't mean predators won't attack it, but when the hagfish is provoked, it can churn out 20 liters of slime, which is almost enough to actually choke out its predators. A species known as the Atlantic hagfish can survive and be found at depths of about 1,800 meters. They're known to be scavengers at times, but a hagfish will eat and burrow into dead animals, sometimes even live ones in the throes of death. They can even absorb nutrients through their skin, and as deep-sea scavengers, they play an important role in recycling the nutrients and bringing them back to the ecosystem. Thanks for sticking with me to the end, everybody. Like the video if you do, and leave a comment. Also, make sure to check out the channel's other amazing content. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Later, everybody.